8 o'clock. And we'll get started. Good morning. Welcome, everyone. We're so happy to have you people in person and all of you online. My name is Tracy Irby, and I'm the director at the Center for Women Entrepreneurs. We are part of the larger Jane Nelson Institute for Women's Leadership. They are dedicated to preparing more women to take on successful roles in business and public service. It's 3 specialized centers: the Center for Student Leadership, our Center for Women Entrepreneurs, and the Center for Women in Government. Ensure women have the education to establish careers as successful executives, skills for building entrepreneurial businesses, and the framework needed to run for public office. I would like to introduce our staff so you know who they are. We have Kimberly Nielsen online. She is our statewide program manager. Donna Lisa Stenier, who you just heard, is our associate director. We have Christina Mortel. I don't believe she's on this morning. She's traveling. And we have Barbara Rankin. For those here, she's out at the front, our program coordinator. So we always like to get to know who's here and who's online. We're going to go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves. But all of you who are online, feel free to put your information in the chat. So let's see. I start with you since you've been here before. I'm sorry.
My name is Ask Marge. My company Ask Marge, the research stage. I provide research services, market research services for businesses and for authors. I also am an academic success coach for grad students who need writing and citing and research help. Like you're working on your capstone. Yeah. So if you still haven't found what you're looking for, ask Marge.
Thank you.
Okay. Do you want me to stand up? Good morning, everybody. My name is Alexa Bio. I run my own financial practice. I'm just getting started, so I'm just looking to network via financial literacy resource to those around me. Growing up, my family didn't do very well financially. I had to pay my way through college, and I did it my own. So if there's anything I can do to be a resource to those around me, that's what I want to do. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Heather Walker. I'm Bright Smiles by Heather. I'm Tooth Whitening Studio located right here on in downtown square. And I'm also mobile. I can come to your home or office. My name is Sydney Simpson. I don't have a business. I'm a doctor of occupational therapy student at Abilene Christian, but I'm a student of Michelle Holloway, who is coming. She's on a phone call. She has her own mobile occupational therapy private practice. And so I'm learning about the entrepreneurship side of what she does. So yeah. Did you know that 30% of college students don't make it to their sophomore year? Why? Because most of them don't know why they're going to college. They just check the box and headed in that direction. Once they got there, they decided it wasn't the right route. I'm Kristen Clark. I work with 16 to 26-year-olds, helping them figure out a career path.
Hi, I'm Liberty Flores. I'm with Loving Love LLC. I'm an event planner and wedding planner as well. I also do design, and also my husband and I run Liberty's Masonry. So we do outdoor patios, kitchens, fireplaces, and the like.
Great. Well, welcome all of you. All right. Well, now I'm going to introduce our 2 speakers for the day. So first we have Angela R. Burton. She's the district director behind the U.S. Small Business Administration's SBA Lower Rio Grande Valley District Office, which serves the 14 southernmost counties of Texas. Angela joined the SBA in July 2013 and brought a trailblazing legacy as the first woman president, CEO of the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. With 3 decades of experience under her belt, Angela is a true champion for entrepreneurs. Our second speaker with her is Elizabeth Vargas. She is the bilingual public information officer for the SBA Officer of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. She provides various public affairs support, including information to the media, the public, business, and civic organizations, and appropriate federal, state, and local government offices about the SBA disaster program. Elizabeth joined SBA in September 2017 when Hurricane Harvey struck Houston. Since then, she has responded to many of our nation's disasters, including California. Thank you, ladies, so much. We're glad to have you here today. And as I saw on the news this morning, McAllen, Brownsville area is now in the path, so.
Unmute. Sorry, I was talking to myself. So I am Angela Burton. I am the district director for the SBA's Lower Rio Grande Valley District Office. So our region is Region 6 in the SBA. We have 5 states, and then of those states, Texas is part of that region. We have 6 district offices in Texas. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I am the only woman district director in all of those district offices in the state of Texas. So that's why I partner quite a bit with Texas Women's University and the Center of Women Entrepreneurs. We have a great relationship, but I want you to understand that you know, in any case, I put my name and my phone number and my email address in the chat, and I'll give it to you now. If you want to write it down, it's angela.burton@sba.gov. And my direct phone number is 956-625-2076, and that's directly to my desk. If I don't answer, please leave a message and I promise I'll get back with you. But I wanted to give you that information, so if you need to be connected to your local district office for any type of support, I'd be glad to do it. And so let's see. So, you know, is everybody familiar with the SBA? Yes, no? I don't know I can't see everybody. It went somewhere else, the camera. So the SBA is a federal agency. It was created in 1953 by the Eisenhower administration to support small business. And so when I think about our purpose, I believe the Small Business Administration is a cornerstone for economic development, you know, fostering innovation and resilience within our entrepreneurial ecosystem. So we operate various programs and initiatives designed to empower small businesses and to boost economies on local, national, even a global scale. So I'd like you to think about SBA in the terms of what I call the 4 C's. Those 4 C's are capital, counseling, contracting, and crisis. So I'll begin real quick with capital, obviously through our flagship programs. The 7(a) guarantee loan and the 504 are our most popular. This infusion of funds directly translates into job creation and retention, economic growth in a thriving local business ecosystem. So if you're in need of funding, we can help you. These loans actually serve as crucial lifelines, enabling small businesses to secure necessary funds to either start up, expand. We also can help with working capital. And then again, we'll talk about later in recovery from unforeseen setbacks. Okay, so the first one is capital. The second one is counseling. So I always say knowledge is power, and you guys, you ladies all know this because you're sitting here and you're wanting to learn, right? But the SBA support extends beyond financial support. It champions education and mentorship through resource partners like SCORE and small business development centers, and even, you know, with our partnership or our memorandum, our strategic alliance memorandum with Texas Women's University, we want to make sure that businesses are offered counseling, training, and guidance. I really recognize that during COVID, when I don't, if you all remember, there were a great deal of COVID financial programs that the SBA was pushing out, and I realized that a lot of our small businesses did not have the financial know-how when it came to their financial statements. And so many small businesses may have lost out on an opportunity because they didn't have their financials put together. And so with our educational programs and counseling and mentoring and advising, we can make sure and help small businesses understand that, or give them the resources needed. Then there's a C, the last, or the second to the last C, which is contracting. And so the US government is the largest single purchaser of goods and services in the world. We spend about $500 billion in contracts every year. Of that, we have contracts with 144 federal agencies that we work with, and they have agreed to award at least 23% of all their prime contracts to small businesses, which means in your case, if you have a woman-owned small business, we could possibly get you certified and you could do business with the government. They have, I think it's 5% that they have to give to small businesses, women-owned small businesses. The other ones are service disabled. We have hub zones, and then we have the 8A program. And then the last, what I call the last C, and that's why we're here today. And ironically, we're having one down here with tropical Francine, tropical storm Francine. We're having some rain and some flooding and whatnot, but crisis. So many folks don't know that SBA is pretty much the second pair of boots on the ground next to FEMA. And we are here to go into communities and support not only small businesses, but homeowners, renters, and even have what we call economic injury disaster loans that can help support small businesses. We have this physical side of, maybe your roof coming down or blowing off, but then we also have this economic side where we support. And so I was asked to come and talk about that part of SBA. So we've got capital, counseling, contracting, but then we have crisis, right? And I could do a decent job of talking about our programs, but I've worked with Elizabeth. She's the one that has the boots on the ground. She has experience. And so I invited her to speak today because she's really the one, she's a subject matter expert, and she knows by experience a lot more than I do with regards to the disaster side of SBA. So with that being said, I just have to tell you, she's a wonderful person. We met when we began working together during Hurricane Harvey. My district was hit really hard during Hurricane Harvey, especially the northern part of the district, the Corpus area, Coastal Bend. And so we met then, and we've been great friends ever since. She's always very supportive, but she's the true champion in this area, and she's the one that has boots on the ground. So with that being said, I'd like for Elizabeth to jump on. And again, ladies, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. I would be glad to talk to you, to point you in the right direction, to connect you with your local SBA office if needed. But please don't hesitate to call. And again, thank you. Thank you, Center for Women's Entrepreneur, for inviting me to speak today and to meet all these all the wonderful ladies that are in the room and online. So, Elizabeth, come on board.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much. Well, you said it well. We started working together during Harvey, and it's been nonstop. And that is a good reason to be here and make this presentation to you ladies, because disasters are around us and they won't stop, unfortunately. And I'm going to try to share my screen. And as I was already presented, so I didn't feel the need to tell you more about me, but I was in some of the chat rooms, and I will say it again in case I wasn't with you in one of those rooms. My name is Elizabeth Vargas. I'm a public information officer with the SBA's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. And that is a great name. It was changed. We used to be Office of Disaster Assistance, but with all the changes with climate and our new administrator, they decided to go with this name, which is more appropriate, because we do not only help during a disaster, we do on the recovery, and now we're working on the resilience for all the areas in where a disaster happens. So I am bilingual too. I can do a presentation in Spanish. If there is a need, please let me know, and I will share my information on my presentation. And I just want to know if you can see my screen.
We can see it.
Good. So here is the name, as I said, and I will go through that later on. So our office, and this I will explain a little bit, because we have two offices, two field operation centers. One is in California, Citrus Heights, next to Sacramento, and that's the office that I work with. And we cover from the Mississippi River to the west, all the states that are to the west. So I've been all around California, New Mexico, Alaska, you name it. Most recently, I was lucky to be working on Maui for a while on the wildfires that they had. And we have another office, SBA has another office on the east that works the east states, and that is out of Atlanta. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to talk about preparedness first of all, because you know, this couldn't be more appropriate. Today I am in Houston right now, and we are preparing for Hurricane Francine. It's probably going to hit part of Louisiana, hopefully not that bad, but I've been working here in Houston for the past 3 months. And we started with the derecho, they call it, storms and flooding that they had in the Houston area during May. And then on July, we got Hurricane Beryl. So it's been a lot of work, and people unfortunately had a lot of damages. Excuse me. So as I said, this couldn't be more appropriate. We have disasters the whole year. And right now we're in hurricane season. Unfortunately, we do have it until November. And nowadays, we don't know when a disaster will happen. I was here in Houston last year on January, and they had a tornado. So we have to be prepared, because the whole year we could have anything happening in our area, and this is a good timing for you as business owners, nonprofits, to be prepared to have the information that you need. Excuse me, my allergies. So it is known that 25% of businesses do not reopen after a disaster. And that is, you know, really a part of not being prepared, a part of not having the information that you need to live through a disaster. And I'm going to talk about a planning, a 6-step planning that we offer and for you to have. And these are the very basic things that you should have ready on your business. The first is to plan. What are you going to plan? You're going to have a plan with your employees. If you're a one person, well, have everything in a folder, have everything ready, your phone numbers, your important emails, your employees' information. Even if you have one employee that takes care of your business, you should have all the information. And a lot of people have their one phone number, but do you have a second option to call if you cannot get a hold of your manager and you only have one phone number? They run out of battery, they are not available, they are busy with, do you have a second number to call? I don't know, if a relative or someone. And then you must have your utility company number to find out what is going on, or if you lost power, when it's going to be back. The emergency responders. Nowadays, you can register with FEMA or your emergency coordinator from your city or your county to know what's going on. Because sometimes you may have your phone, but you do not have internet. So if you don't have a phone number written down or saved on your phone, then you don't have a way to know what is going on. So it is very important to have all these phone numbers and email addresses also. To if you cannot talk to someone, you can send an email to your employees, your suppliers, to let them know you're not going to be open and not to deliver your goods or whatever is scheduled. So it is very important to have this list. And besides having it, have it somewhere else, have it on your cloud, have it with a relative. And this is only, or not only for your business, even in your personal life. You know, you can, what if you lost your cellular, your phone, iPhone or whatever you use, you don't know the numbers by heart like we used to in the old days. You will memorize the important phone numbers. Nowadays, we have the technology and we do not need to memorize the numbers. So what if you lose your number or your contacts? So you must have it saved somewhere where you can get the information if you don't have your phone with you. So it is very important, and to have a second option for the important numbers like your employees and some of your customers, the important people that are part of your business. And then you need to update it regularly because, you know, businesses or some people change numbers or they use a different email address, etc. So, and as I said, you must sign up with FEMA or the local officials, emergency local officials, so you are, you know what is going on by the minute. When a disaster happens, you need to know everything that is going on and how things are changing, so you know where to go or what you need to do or not. Excuse me. And the other thing is your vital information. And this is kind of the same. You should have an offsite backup. You should have a storage. Nowadays, it's easy to have it in a cloud, but it is important that you consider hiring a professional because, you know, not all of us are very technology savvy. So if this information is very important because it's your business, so you need to have it protected. You need to have all the data solutions beforehand and to know how to access your information and know that it is safe and you can access it later on or when you need it. And then you need to, you know, like your computer data, you need to back it up regularly so you have it up to date. And then the third steps is your insurance. And this is very important. I am working here in Houston, and it is heartbreaking when some business owner says, oh, I was considering the insurance, but I didn't get it. And unfortunately, you know, then things it's harder to get ahead of a crisis when you do not have the correct insurance. Because as a business, you can consider the business interruption insurance, which will help you if you have to shut down. And it can help you also with lost income. And SBA Recovery and Resilience offers help on these cases, but I'll go through that later on. Then the flood insurance, that's another point that is very important. A lot of people think that their regular insurance will cover the flood. And unfortunately, it doesn't. As a homeowner or business owner, if you get 1 inch of water inside your home or business, that will cost you more than $25,000 on damage to your business. So it is important to have it. Besides your regular policy, you should make sure that how much it covers. And usually they do not cover. You have to buy flood insurance on the side, and it is worth it because unfortunately people think, well, I got flooded, but because of the rain. But exactly, the insurance will say, well, this is flooding. No matter how it happened, it is flood, and you do not have flood insurance, or you do, and that will be great. But just consider or check your insurance, review your coverage, and make sure you have this. And then if you are in a flooding area, you must have it. And you can check this webpage, floodsmart.gov, and you can get more information. And it's not expensive as a regular. Well, I shouldn't say that because it depends on the area that you live. If you live in a flood zone, then it will be different, but it is important for you to have the information, to know that you do what you have, what coverage, what your insurance will cover in the case of a disaster. And then, of course, you must keep records updated. Nowadays with the phones, you can take pictures, have pictures of your inventory, anything, your furniture. So if something happens, you have some documentation ready. And you can videotape your facility. And because in a crisis, it's even hard to remember. Well, you know, it happens to people. I've talked to people that say, oh, I know I had a copy machine and this and that, but I cannot even remember how big it was, and things like that. And then you don't have the records, the sale receipts, and you know, and it's harder. So if you have pictures or a video of your facility, it will make it easy for you, and then maybe your insurance company will need it. Then the fourth step is your operations planning. And what if your business had to close for several weeks or even months after a disaster? what are you gonna do? You know, are you just gonna close and that's it? No, you have to find a way to develop a plan in case you have to shut down. What can you do? What can you do to stay in operation? What can you do to keep selling? So it's really important for you to you know, determine what you need to keep for your business to keep on going. So one of the things is keep extra supplies of the hard items that, you know, they're hard for you to get. They're not as easy as the regular supplies. A backup generator always helps because power is the first thing you will lose in a disaster, in a storm or hurricane. I am in the Houston area, and I know people that were without power over months. And you know, even as homeowners, they were out of power for 2 weeks. And even if you are out of power for 2 days, my daughter called me and said it's going to be 20 hours and I am afraid to open the refrigerator because of all the food in the freezer, you know. So power is one thing that will stop once a disaster arrives. So it is important to have a backup generator if you can afford it. And for your business, of course, mostly if you your business is food related, a restaurant or something like that, that is very important because the losses on materials or inventory are usually big, mostly if you lose power, and we're talking about food. So the step 5 is business preparedness resources. And I have some information here. As I said, if you go into our webpage, sba.gov, you will find links to these pages, but you can check these. There will be some checklist for you to have regarding your business, regarding preparing for a disaster. And then we have a link to the Insurance Institute for home safety, and you can find all the information about insurance there. And then the step 6 is test your plan. Yes, you may have a plan with your employees about what will you do, you know. But if you don't practice, or if they don't know what exactly you are thinking about doing, that is not, you know, it's not going to work. So you need to continually talk to your employees, say, well, if something happened, if, you know, if we started flooding, what are we going to do? Who's going to decide to close the business? Who is going to keep the keys? Who else has the keys to the building? And things like that, because then you can, you know, go through the crisis. And the other thing to consider is that people get nervous, and you may have a plan, but if you are, if something big was to happen, hopefully not, but you know, people get nervous and they don't know what to do. They forget. If you didn't practice, if you just had it in paper, or you sent an email and this is what we're gonna do, yes, it's great, but in a crisis, people will forget because you didn't practice. Then if you practice, if you talk to your employees, or if you yourself, if it's only you, then you go, you do what you will do if you had to close in a rush. And then your steps. What am I going to do after that? After I close, who do I have to call? My suppliers, because maybe you had some deliveries schedule, or my clients, because I had to an event with some of my clients. So all that information, all that planning is very important, so you can continue with your business. And then the activities for the employees, if you have, even if it's 3 or 4 employees, is very important for them to know. And then as you have new employees, unfortunately, the employee rotation is very usual. So it's important to train the new employees and have someone responsible of having all the information, or for them to know what they are going to do or what is their part in your planning. So we can reduce the recovery time, and then the most important is that people are safe, and your business information and everything else is prepared and safe to continue. Okay, and then the second part is recovery. And this is the office that I work with. And we are the primary source of federal funding to help private property owners with the recovery on their losses that are not covered by an insurance or other type of recoveries. So SBA Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience do not only help businesses and nonprofits. We do help homeowners and renters. And this is very, very important because of our name, people think we only work with businesses. Yes, the regular SBA, as Angela mentioned, work with businesses, entrepreneurs, but in a case of a disaster, we do help all residents that have damages that are not covered by an insurance. And so when a disaster happens, there is a presidential declaration. If it's big enough, the president signs a declaration of a disaster. And then FEMA is the leading agency, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. They are the first on the ground, but SBA comes together with them. We do assessment of the damages, then the disaster declaration happens, it is signed by the president, and then emergency management is involved, and SBA offers individual assistance. So people think FEMA will help them when a disaster happens. And yes, they are the emergency agency. They will help them, but they will help only with the emergency part. They will help residents, and they do not work with businesses. They do work with homeowners and renters. They will help them, with lodging if they cannot stay in their home, and with fixing a little bit of their home so that the house can be sanitary and safe for them to go back. But then the FEMA cannot make them whole. So if they do not have enough insurance, which is usually the case, or not insurance at all, SBA offers them low interest loans. And these loans are just in a case of a disaster. And not only for homeowners, but for renters also. And then in the case of not passing the threshold that FEMA has, SBA may make a declaration, which is called agency, where only SBA comes. And that's what happened last year here in Houston during the Pasadena tornado. The damages didn't go, or they didn't pass the threshold that FEMA has. So the state called SBA to come and offer the loan program, because and one thing to consider is the SBA funding is 80% of the loans go to homeowners and renters. So 20% goes to businesses, because of course, even you as a business owner, you own a home or you rent a place, and these loans will help you with recovering from a disaster. So we have a presidential declaration where FEMA assists and SBA do too. And then we have the agency declaration where only SBA comes. And it might happen to you that you will hear on the news, SBA is here because of something that happened, a couple of weeks ago. And then people hear our name and they think we only going to help businesses, but we do homeowners and renters when a disaster happens. And then also SBA includes helps on public assistance to certain private nonprofits of a governmental nature. And I will go through that in a little bit. So here, as I said, we offer low interest loans to businesses, nonprofits, homeowners, and renters. And we do the economic injury loans, and these are working capital loans for businesses, because maybe your business had some damage, but your insurance will cover or most of it, and you will be okay. But then you were closed for 2 weeks, and you didn't have any income for those 2 weeks. So what's going to happen later on? You're going to be struggling for capital because you didn't have any income. So those that revenue loss that you had, you can get it through SBA, so you can have working capital to continue your business or to reopen. And then here are the types of loans. As I said, for businesses, we have the physical damage to repair or replace your real estate or recover or your inventory, your equipment, anything that you lost on the storms or the hurricane, and is not insured. Even if you have insurance, your insurance may cover nowadays, unfortunately, maybe 80%. And what's going to happen with the other 20% that you need to recover your inventory or to buy the equipment that was damaged? So that is the part that SBA will lend you. And then we have the working capital loans that are economic injury loans, and you can, as a business or a nonprofit, you can have a combination of both loans, and for up to $2 million. Homeowners can get up to $500,000 to repair or replace their main residence, and homeowners and renters can get up to $100,000 to repair or replace their personal property, and this can include furniture, clothing, and even their car. So if your car was damaged and you didn't have insurance, or you only had the minimum insurance and you need to replace it, you can get a loan from SBA to replace it. And then we also have mitigation loans. That is, you can get a 20% of your verified physical losses on top of your loan. So if you get approved for $50,000, you can get an extra $10,000 for mitigation projects. And I'm going to talk about that in a few slides.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
We have about 8 minutes.
Okay, so I'll go a little bit faster. So this only talks about SBA being low interest rates, affordable to up to 30 years, and the loans are based on your ability to pay, and in certain circumstances you can refinance or even move to a different location. And as I said, only uncompensated losses, and if you didn't comply with the terms of other SBA loans, it's going to be difficult to get one, but I always suggest that you apply and let SBA give you an answer. Then we have 60 days from the declaration date, and 9 months from the deadline is 9 months after to get or apply for an economic injury loan. And these are the requirements. You must be in a declared area. Your credit history must be acceptable, and just show your ability to repay a loan. And you must have insurance or flood insurance if you live in a flooding zone. And these are just things that I already talked about. You will know if a disaster happens in your area. You will know. We will be there. We will be on TV. We will, our resource partners, our district office, chambers of commerce will have all the notices, and we will have press releases also. And the last one is mitigation. As I said, you can get a 20% on top of your loan to do mitigate, to make your building stronger. So next time something happens, you know, it will stay what it is. And we also cover, with this money, you can cover the added costs when rebuilding. The building codes change, and they are more expensive usually. And when you spend $1 on mitigation today, it refers to an estimated $6 for future damages. So it is it's a good, really good option. And these are some of the projects that you can do for, you know, in the case of flooding, and you will get this information with the presentation. So I'm not going to go through that. Hopefully we don't get a disaster pretty soon, and you will have time to review this. And we have our resource partners that Angela already talked about. They can help you also. You can go to the SBDC, the Women's Center, SCORE, VBUC. They will have all the information when a disaster happens, and they will help you also if you get denied a loan. They will help you to request a reconsideration, and they do consulting for anything else. And so, you know, as I said, they will help you even rewriting, you know, or making up your documents, any financial documents that SBA will require if you apply for a loan. And, you know, just all our resources will help you in with the reconsideration, as I said, and you will have, this is important, if you are denied, you will have 6 months to request a reconsideration, because sometimes there is only a mistake in your credit history or the credit bureau report. And here is the information. You can check our webpage, sba.gov/disaster. This is our customer number. You can call there. You can write an email, and I put my personal email address, work email address, elizabethvargas@sba.gov. And I am here for any questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. That was a lot of really good information. And I just want to say thank you for acknowledging that it is National Preparedness Month. I know every September we always push it at the center, and I feel like nobody jumps on my bandwagon. So thank you for that. So do we have any questions in the chat, Kimberly?
No, not at this time. I just put another message in there for anyone that comes up with one.
Okay, we have one here, Michelle.
Two parts. Is the pandemic considered a national disaster, or was it? That was my first question.
Yes.
Okay, so all the same qualifiers as wind, everything. And then the second one.
Well, the pandemic was kind of crazy because we created programs that were outside of our normal program area, specific to the disaster.
Thank you. And then my second question, I office out of my home. So which supersedes the other? Does the homeowner's insurance trump business insurance, or vice versa?
Well, you can have both, and you can apply for 2 loans, one for businesses as your home-based business, and then your personal home. Was that the question? I'm not sure.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? I don't know if she did answer which.
I was curious about the home insurance policy.
So they want to know, Elizabeth, which one would trump would the home insurance take precedence over the business insurance, or would the business insurance take precedence over the home insurance?
Or
It will be 2 separate 2 separate loans, one for a business and one for the homeowner, as a homeowner. So it's 2 separate loans, 2 separate insurance.
Elizabeth, I think she's asking if the business insurance, aside from the loans, if the business insurance would trump the homeowner insurance Or would the homeowner insurance trump the business insurance? And that might be something that we wouldn't know.
No, I couldn't say that because it's a case by case scenario. So once, if unfortunately, if something was to happen, then you will have to apply. And we open disaster recovery centers with FEMA in a big disaster. In the smaller ones, we open offices, disaster outreach centers. For business owners, we actually open business recovery centers in any disaster agency or presidential, and you can go there and talk to one representative from SBA that will help you with those, questions, because it's a case-by-case scenario.
Yeah. The other thing too is I would maybe contact your insurance carrier to ask that question too.
Thank you.
And it may depend on the insurance carrier. I mean. you
Right.
know. Marge, did you have a question?
I mean, you may or may not be able to answer, but you mentioned home generators and I work from home as well. And so I'm kind of been looking at buying generators and all these weather events we've been having. I'm wondering, you think a business could help pay for that as well, I would think, right?
And
Sure.
with the generator outside
The
the home,
generator, yeah.
also
so-
in a disaster.
yeah, in a disaster,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would think a flood would ruin the generator.
Make
Yeah,
sure
it
you have it
depends on
outside.
where the generator-
Far
'cause it is outside,
from your
right?
house, yeah, make sure to keep it outside far enough from your house so it doesn't get. So I would imagine that's probably another insurance question,
Yeah.
Angela, that's, yeah,
Or just a business expense question.
yeah, or check with your accountant.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions? Did we have any pop up in the chat, Kimberly?
No, not at this time, thank you.
I do have one more. Oh, we have one more. If something did happen to a car outside of a flood or whatever, an accident would happen, is there something special that we would need to do prior to be able to get an SBA car loan? Did you hear that one?
Yes, well, the losses or damages have to be because of the disaster. Like for instance, right now, Hurricane Beryl happened. The days that happened here in Houston were from July 4th through the 8th. So you will have to be in a disaster declared county, and then it will have to happen during those dates. So it depends on what or when it happens.
Awesome. Any more questions? Well, thank you so much, both of you. Thank you for, I'm grateful for your time and the fact that we get to put this on our YouTube channel and it will continue to be a resource. All of the links that Angela put in the chat, I grabbed those and we'll send those out in the email so that everybody will have those as well. I also have Elizabeth's full presentation. So I will send that out. So you will have everything that you need. And Angela, I'll even make sure that your name and email and phone number are also included in that email so that anybody that wasn't here and they weren't able to get it. Did you want to say?
Well, I just want to thank both of you for being here. This is such great information. And I think now everyone kind of knows some things to do to plan in advance. Not something we want to think about, but we need to think about for our businesses. So Angela, thank you. I'll see you next week. Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks for
So
having us.
Have a few announcements. So right now our Start Her grant is open. So we're awarding 10 women $5,000 a piece. Information is on our website. Two things, read. So read the grant guidelines, read the FAQs, watch the video, read the grant guidelines again, read the FAQs, watch the video again. The application does not close until October 4th. So don't rush out trying to get it. There's no points for getting first. There's no points for getting it in before October 4th. Just as long as we have it by October 4th at 5 o'clock. If you have any specific questions about the grant, then you can email the CWE grants. Tracy and I think Kimberly are putting it in the chat at twu.edu. Don't call with your questions. We like to have them through email so that we can answer them and keep them.
In addition to our Start Her grant application for all of our Houston community, our Accelerate Her Houston application is open. I know Kimberly is so excited about this. It closes October 8th at 11:59 p.m. So again, if that is an opportunity that you would like to participate in, you can do so. Registration is open for our next Saturday workshop that's scheduled for September 28th from 9 o'clock until 12 o'clock noon. Creating your customer experience with Dr. Tanya Fanar from Excel Communication. October Women Rise, we're having Lindsay Pitar coming in to talk from the Women's Business Council Southwest to talk about women-owned certification and sharing with you how you can leverage that to increase revenue into your business. And I know Angela talked about that a little bit when she talked about her 4 C's, contracting. So there's a lot of money out there for women-owned businesses. So having that women-owned certification. Save the date for our next Women Entrepreneurs free headshot and networking event that's scheduled for Thursday, October 10th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Registration will open Thursday, September 26th at 9 a.m. And then one last thing, we always ask on the survey if there's a topic that you would like to hear about. And a lot of times I see stuff that we've already got resources for. So I want to do a quick plug for our YouTube channel. There's over 105 videos on our YouTube channel that talk about anything from, well, later on today, from preparing for disaster for your business. There's marketing, there's how to write a business plan. So it is a resource for you. So if there's a topic that you're looking for and we haven't gotten to it yet, check out our YouTube channel. I can guarantee you that, 105 videos, there's probably something there that can help you. So without, I think that's all I have. Did you have anything? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stop our share, stop our recording, and hand it over to Kimberly to finish up with it.